King X, that's right. Forgot that one.
And Trooper.
Shout out
Joe.
to Trooper
I'm
Joe.
Trooper
keeping it.
Joe, and I'm not here to keep it real for you.
Again, so we were just talking politics. If you want to call in.
Hey, shout out to the real quick to the Flavor 105.5 Positive Impact Show. Who won it?
Chantel,
the boss, Bethia, and the baddest DJ on this side of Park Ave and Main Street, DJ Smooth Spinner.
Boom!
Boom!
Yeah,
right.
Shout out to Chantel. Yo, don't try to kill me for that. Hey.
508-753-2284 if you got anything to say again.
All right, so
real quick though, before we get on to my topic, which is about friends, so
no, Will get his joint off, man.
But Moses Dixon is running again.
How's that going? Why is that going before his point though? Before you forget it,
go ahead, talk about it.
Oh no, all I was gonna say was, so like the example that you used for not having insurance, right? It's like how many illnesses are you going to get before someone can convince you that you really need to get insurance and give you that sense of urgency. So it's the same thing for people in the valley. It's like they just April they're gonna be taken away. They can't smoke. Not only can they not smoke in their house, they can't just go right outside and smoke. They have to be 30 meters away from any building in there. So it's like they got to be in the middle of traffic. One person said, "Oh, if I have to go 30 meters from my house, I'm gonna be right in front of the neighbor's house across the street." So it's like how many more? It's like you see someone drowning. And every time you pull them to shore, they go back in because they don't know any better. How many more times, how long do you let them get close to death before you say anything?
AKA, my new AKA is called Problem Solver. So I like we asking some real deep questions, but like I said, we got to provide some solutions. AKA Problem Solvers here. I think, I know Tom said how. Remember it was how. And we're working on the how with the think tank. But the only thing I can see is if you're frustrated with people not registering and not voting right, you got to be out there with your own iPad registering them yourself.
Right.
You got to be out there having them conversations with them yourself.
Absolutely.
Because no one's going to do that work for us. No one is going to actually try to connect the dots. You know what I mean? From politics on down to education, they're not going to try to do that. Especially, I think, in this environment where a large majority, like Troop says, it's about pull your bootstraps out. It's about if I did it, you can. You know what I mean? And I have to shout out, I see how we're calling on the grand scale of things Trump Hitler. But what about the Hitlers in our backyard? You know what I mean? What about Gaffney?
That's what I keep saying.
What about Mariano? You know what I mean? We got Hitlers right here. Right here in our backyard that, you know what I mean, really want to build a wall around. Listen to Gaffney, build a wall around Technic from Park on out. You know what I mean? So let's think about some of the Hitlers we have right here in our own backyard, Joe.
That was my point.
Speaking of the Hitlers around there, that's what really frustrated me about Great Brook Valley, because every time someone votes,
fascism, man.
every time like a voting happens in Worcester, the racist blogger puts something out like demeaning the valley, like, oh, look at how many people voted this time. And I'm like, man, that's kind of self-love. When you see people who go through what you've been through, and they suffering, and then people are making fun of them, and they get angry.
In fact, you talking about want to make someone make you want to choke somebody, man. Like I see black people, so-called people from the hood, the people that I grew up with, people that post pro-black stuff, sharing Turtle Boy stuff, Turtle Boy articles. It's such cornery buffoonery, man. I can't deal with it.
Cornery buffoonery.
I'm sorry for that tangent. You said something. You talk about the racist blogger. Yeah, I was like, and man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But we gotta get past that. It's about getting past that. Well, I believe we can, but at the end of the day, things need to be addressed. I definitely believe that we're doing our best. I think since Turtle Boy ever came out with his blog, a lot of things happened since then. Spitting Voice of the Voiceless. You have Power 105. Yeah, I think, people are waking up.
I mean, it is what it is, man. This is beef, man. Like, I'm really, accustomed to this. And that beef don't go away. It's not over right there. Like, you did what you did. We gonna do what we do, man. So, like, that ain't nothing, man. That's, like, this whole thing. I'm just asking folks on for real, like, how long you gonna keep, you're like, how long you gotta keep going through this until you register? I'm like, how long you gonna keep, doing whatever we doing, like protesting and marching and man, like look, man, we need to consolidate our resources. We need to create our own economic communities. We need to create our own living communities. Like they have these joints. They have like what they call them, intentional communities. Like go, you and your peoples get together, go like identify some land, buy some land, build on that joint. And develop it and take care of your own, man, right now, because you keep asking like this Gestapo machine is moving, man, and people ain't doing nothing. They talking about like you keep asking like these like tyrants to be nice, man, like yo, there's no budge on them. Like they digging deep. They becoming more brazen, more like audacious.
But I think at the end of the day, yeah, you're gonna have the ones who are going to be deemed like mentally, you know what I mean, mentally incapable of seeing life for what it really is, and then you're going to have the ones who wake up, you know what I mean. So like I said, I feel
I'm about that action right now.
I could dig that though, but I feel people
action.
can change. I feel people can change. That's all I'm saying. I still have faith in people changing. That's all.
I'm not with that no more.
I'm
taking care of mine.
But
man.
You know what? Shout out to Wanda, because to go back, Wanda Acevedo, because to go back to Will's point, she had a scrapbook of a lot of history that happened in Worcester, and she had it was a point in time where all the black people were down in Great Brook Valley. A lot of black and Hispanics were specifically put there because of that. What is it, the Laurel Clayton Project, where they put the highway through the Holy Cross area, because that Holy Cross area was originally, the community for blacks. So she had this article back then where it seemed like intentionally the city of Worcester discouraged voters in Great Brook Valley to vote, because they started to make it difficult, for one, for them to get to a poll, and then for two, to have a direct representative, because they split up the whole valley into like 3 parts. So it was like intentional to not have the masses of a specific culture not be united. You know what I mean? So I could understand that, to the point where, look at Great Brook Valley now. They have 1 poll, but 3 different representatives, and no one comes out to vote because they don't. And that's the excuses I've heard from wealthy people is, what's the sense of me voting? What's going to happen is going to happen regardless. And they really are. They don't trust in the system. They just, working.
I mean, I just don't see how that's an effective strategy. Waking up the masses at this point in time. How is that an effective strategy?
It's not even about being a strategy, but if they're not, and I know the strategy is, come on, you got to grab them by the damn collar and drag them on.
Like if you're ready, you ready, man. Like everybody had time, man. Like it's popping, man. Everybody had time. Like either you accepted it, or like in the Bible say like this. I don't buy into the word, but there's parallels. Like there's lessons to be learned. It was like everybody. It'll come a day where everybody had your chance. Like it's time to move, man. I'm not.
And I feel we're moving. I feel we're moving.
I'm gonna take care of mine, man.
If 96% of us didn't vote, we're not moving.
Right. I spent a lot of time, right, trying to move people, right. In that time, and I learned a lot, and I think a lot of good was done, but I kind of neglected my own. Like if right now, if they was like, yo, we tried this right now, we gonna just jump this election thing, we gonna make Trump the president. All Negroes report to the corner. We implementing the slavery thing.
You said that before.
Right. What could you do right now at this moment?
I think that's when.
What could you do at this moment? Not a damn thing, right? And I'm not.
What I'm doing.
Listen, like I don't know if you got.
I ain't lining up at the corner.
I know you ain't got no. Listen, I don't know what you got. I'll tell you what I don't have. I don't have any land. I don't have any know-how on how to cultivate land. I don't have any transportation to move to that land. I don't have anything to respond to that type of call. And if you, as a black person, think that you are removed from that reality, you are out your damn mind.
Well, we need to start learning.
And you think that I am no longer investing any time trying to convince people to vote.
But it ain't even about convincing people. It's about, one, you got to stand firm on what you believe in. So you got to equip yourself with information and knowledge for yourself. And then, like I said, the thing that's twofold is you got to be able to take that information and somehow, and somehow translate it to people who can't understand layman terms, pretty much. That's what I see. It's about information. Knowledge is power, and the more you give it to them, the more they start to understand, but they got to trust you first. If they don't trust you, everything is saying, you know how that go. Everything is...
If Young Metro don't trust you.
Yeah.
If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna have to shoot you.
And that's what it is.
But I mean, I don't
There's
know.
no trust. I want to go to my topic though, which is on a greater note because it's about now people looking at themselves, loving themselves, and looking at their circles. So there was something on Facebook that was talking about 5 signs that you have a true friend, and I consider y'all true friends to me. But it's about challenging our friendship and getting better. So I like to go over the 5 signs and see what y'all say about it. You know what I mean? So they said sign number 1 is they stay with you through the good times and the bad times. So how many people in your circle you could say has been with you when stuff is really down? You know?
Not many. Facts, not really, not many.
Well,
I don't even know what that means though.
So I say this has been a trying time for me. So you know what I'm saying? So the past 2 to 3 years has been trying. And who's been there? You know what I mean? Who's been there for me? There's been a lot of people. That's crazy because a lot of people's been there for me. Whether I don't, you know, how selfish I may be, there's been a lot of people. You've been there for me. Like we've been there for each other. So I could say on that note, you know, I over the past two years, whoever's been sticking with me, thank you.
You really trying to make this end this on a positive note, aren't you?
You have to.
Okay.
Why
I'm
don't
with
you?
it. I'm with it.
Because
Hey, I'm with it.
I'm
with
saying
it.
we at this point in time right now where you need to heal yourself. I see people going through a lot, and to Mike's point, people go through a lot of stuff because they done compartmentalize their trauma, so they can't even get past it being happy and dealing with their real selves because they so stuck at that trauma that you know they don't remember happy things. I had somebody yesterday say they can't remember happy thoughts.
I asked that question because like I've been dealing with a narcissistic personality for like a long.
He said the narcissistic. Yo, that's crazy you say that. That's why we have to talk after the show because we really need to bond because I love you and we need to really kick it. But I get it.
But
that's the way the world is.
But looking into like where narcissism comes from, oftentimes it comes from being void of security. Like so, when somebody feels like they have to protect themselves, and then and the entities and the people and places fail that person, they overcompensate for their safety, and they have to become the center of the universe, right? And so narcissism sometimes comes from actually like victimization and traumatizing, right? And the unfortunate thing is that through that my life, I realized that some people use friendship as a weapon, or like it's not really friendship. They use like one of the I just say this. I'll simplify it now. Boundaries are a good thing, right? Like they're good for you and they're good for the people that need to adhere to those boundaries. And then when you don't have boundaries, you get into problems.
Well, there goes number 2 then. So you're a narcissistic person, I know that. And I accept you for that. I love you for that. That's why we have to talk offline because, you know, the number 2 is they accept you exactly as you are. You get that? And that's one thing I feel that people have a hard time, especially doing with me because they swear, you know, people want to change me. They want me to be what they see me to be instead of...
What if they want to see you reach your potential?
What if they don't know how to get me to my potential?
Or what if you just don't belong in their life? Not everybody, like they say people come in your life for a reason, a season, a lifetime. And some people you just don't mix with.
Yeah, and I don't believe in that. I believe in...
But what about
I don't
people,
believe
but
in
what
that
about
at
other
all.
people who do?
If they do, they do. But, you know, my thing is, like I said, I've been doing, a lot of self-loving. You know, I've been doing a lot of self-healing.
But that's not about self. My point was about other people. Like, so you said, like you have to accept, you don't have to accept all people because all people don't belong in your life.
Well, there you go. So this whole conversation is, like I said, it's just about looking at your circle.
Because self-love is recognizing who belongs in your life and who doesn't.
But when you love yourself, you respect yourself, and you also respect who's around you. You're not gonna have, you know what I mean. My thing is, you're not
right.
You wouldn't have nobody around you that you feel you have to either disrespect yourself or you have to jeopardize yourself, your integrity.
So as my Christians say, Satan, get thee away from me. Like I rebuke you. I rebuke you. I don't rock with you. Like so we don't have to disrespect each other. Here's my space. Here's your space.
Exactly.
Like but you should But I'm talking about extreme cases.
You could actually be friends with Satan if you respect his views and he respects your views.
That's insane.
But he doesn't violate your views and you don't violate
his existence violates my views.
but your existence might violate his.
That's why we can't be friends.
Yeah.
Why would you try to force that relationship? See, that's not self-love.
It's not about forcing
That's not
a relationship.
self-love.
It's about you respecting yourself. You understand? So if you respect yourself, whatever that person is that person.
Well, we need a tiebreaker.
And that's what I'm saying. Accept that person for who they are is really just respect, yo.
This is a great, because that's a great example. Like a friendship with Satan.
Yo, that's
And he's advocating that
Do you
you should
understand?
respect Satan.
Haitians, my grandmother was raised on that. She was raised on, listen, she is a woman of faith, a woman of Christian, but if Satan came into her household, she would welcome him, give him a food, give him a place to live, because she believes love overcomes everything.
I
You
actually
understand what I'm
get
saying?
that, like I actually get that philosophically, right?
Yeah, she believes that. You have to like.
But I think that's the case where you have to fight fire with
love.
fire.
Yeah, you gotta. But that's like
That's
fighting love with hate.
it's like welcoming death. It's either like, yes, I'm gonna run from this bullet, or yes, I'm gonna eat it. Which one do you want?
So
Because Satan is a bullet.
Yeah.
all right. So listen, she's not here to defend herself. I don't know her, and that's your family. So for me to go in would be would be not smart for me at all. But I'll say this: you should try to coexist at least with everybody.
You talking about bipartisanship?
I don't know, but I mean, you should try to coexist. You should try to coexist with everybody. Like, there's some people that I know that are great people, but they don't have the same views that I have. People in this room, for example.
But does that mean they can't be your friend because they don't have the same views you have?
No, that doesn't mean that they can't be my friend, but that means that there are boundaries where we can't go.
Right.
So the boundaries thing is a good thing. The thought about the notion about letting, for example, someone who has a history of being a child molester to live in my house and me feed them and me clothe them, not happening. And I'm a Christian. I believe
that's just not wise.
It's just there's certain boundaries you don't allow to be crossed. You pray for your house, you pray for safety, you pray for your children. That entails protecting things that are sacred.
Say for example, right? Can I just add on to that? If there was a lynch mob, right, with pitchforks and burning torches chasing a child molester, right, and ran into my house, I would protect the child molester, right? I wouldn't let them like kill them, right? At the same time, the eagle eye that child molester would be under would be crazy, right? Like he couldn't move. If he moved the wrong way, I'm gonna take his head off, right? So
you gonna take his head off in the house?
Right? No, because like at least like I'm not gonna kill you, but if you can do something to get killed, right? But they're gonna kill you. Right, so but like I can't even have that existence is not a good existence.
Yeah.
So you just eliminate that, right? Like not everybody is supposed to be in your circle.
I can dig it.
Not everybody's a child molester either, though. You know?
And you know what? I could definitely dig it, but I go back to our roots. You know what is it? The Garofano medicine wheel.
Yeah.
I go back to when we weren't Americanized, when we were in the villages, and we had the same things. You know what I mean? We had people who had really severe mental issues, who were child pedophiles, who were doing crazy things to themselves and other people. And as a village, we still lived. You know what I mean? We found a way to work with these people. And I'm just necessarily assuming it was through love because we didn't alienate them. They were still part of the village. You know what I mean? It was all through over nurturing and over loving. And that's what I go back to. So now it's 2016 and it's the same dynamics, and it's like we're alienating people that we're supposed to be not saying having a watchful eye over, but we're supposed to be giving these people extra love, extra attention, and it's like the perception is out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Crazy people. My wife works with people who are mentally challenged, and it's really like out of sight, out of mind. Like, let's put these people in this secluded area and not worry about them. And these are these people, families, sons, daughters, mothers, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't think it's done the right way, because back then, how did we deal with them?
So there's exceptions to the rule. So your premise on being accepting of everybody, it makes sense. And as a Christian, I accept that. We say at the church, anybody come as you are, but don't stay as you are. So even as a friend, if I see you being better, if I see ways that you can improve yourself, or ways that I feel will get you out of trouble, because sometimes it takes a friend to say, look, man, you headed down a path towards destruction. As a friend, since I care about you, I want that to change. So sometimes it is cool to try to change a friend. But at the same time, there are exceptions to the rules.
You should never try to change a friend. You should have their best interest in mind and respect them and know.
Sometimes it's in
whether
their
they
best
wanna
interest to
or not.
change.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
I'm saying.
Why would you like?
Because I'm going by a real authentic friend.
That's
I would want.
That's
I
not
would,
a thing. That's
I
not
would-
a healthy perception of friendship.
Keith,
Why
so-
not? Because I would want my friend to accept me for who I am.
So, Keith,
if
right?
I'm not ready to change, I don't want my friend to be beating me in the ear about changing.
All
I
right.
want my friend to just be accepting me and
Why would
give
you
me suggestions.
like that?
So-
That is the example. Go ahead.
So that argument is a good.
I like to get on
He does have a kind of a point. As far as me being a Christian. So I can't sit here and beat you both in the air about you going to hell or else. I believe you're going to go to hell when you die. So come to Jesus right now because that's not healthy for our
And I
friendship
believe
or
it.
for you getting it.
Let me say this so you get to 3, right? Like, I don't need to preface with the history, but this is what I will say. Like, some people just want you to die with them,
Yeah.
right?
Misery loves company.
Some people
Yep.
like they don't want it any better. They just want you to stay with them and die with them.
Right.
No.
Right.
Period.
And I could dig it. I could dig it. So number 3 is they'll never hesitate to help you through your struggles.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. So
So they never
All
help
three
you
is like the
help
same
you
thing.
through the struggle. That requires change. If you don't change, you're going to still be in that struggle. No.
and I think when they mean by they'll never hesitate, meaning they stay there. Whether you know what I mean.
That's
Whether-
not staying in
supporting. I mean supporting. That support meaning I'm your friend. Whether you went far to the left and you're on drugs, or you know what I mean, you're far to the right and you're a conservative.
All right, what's 4?
4 is it gets better.
I feel like 3 was the same as 2.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. They'll help you through your struggles. They'll make now. This is what I see as important. Period. They'll make time for you. Now, I like that's key for me in relationships. If we don't make time for one-on-ones, you really never gonna get to understand me, and I'm never gonna get to understand you. And all I'm gonna have is really topical information to judge you by, because we all have
Okay.
our biases.
All right.
So they make time for you.
Okay, so there unfortunately there's a thing that's really a lot of people go through, and it's called life. So we have family. We have family. We have children. So I hadn't talked to Mike for years, and a part of me was like kind of resentful because it was like he never had time for anybody. But then I was like, you know what? You never have time for anybody because you're always away too. So I had to learn that I have a wife, I have kids, all who require time, and you have to put those in a certain order. But quickly before we get off of two and three, I want to say, Keith, I'm a recovering cutter. So what that means is when I used to get depressed, when I used to get angry, I used to cut my own skin. I used to mutilate myself. So and nobody could talk me out of it. So if I came in here right now, you knowing that, and I just started cutting my skin, would you intervene?
Hell yeah.
But you letting him. You're not trying to change. You changing him.
Yep.
No, I'm going to restrain him and call the.
But that's
I'm
changing.
calling
That's just
911.
changing.
No, it's not. It's called. That's right there is what you call harming himself,
Yes.
and I'm not going to allow.
But that's what I do.
While I'm here. If you like it, you like it, but you won't do it around me, because I won't allow that. Now, if you want to go ahead and say something and have some crazy ideas,
I thought you this whole time you were talking
I'm
about
not
friendship like
changing
about the
him.
other person. But now
I'm
you're
trying to
talking
help
about you.
him. I'm trying to help him.
All right.
So you know what I mean. At that point in time, I would want to intervention.
And as a friend, you'd want me to change my behavior.
As a friend, yes. As a friend, I would want you to change your behavior, but as a friend, I would want to help you to get to that point where you're aware of your behavior and you want to change it yourself. I can't.
Right.
I can't be like, damn. I can't. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be that friend that's going to be 24/7 beating you down because you cut yourself and always talking about stop cutting yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The whole thing is that's what people do. We don't even think about the root cause of the problem, which is why the hell is he cutting himself in the first place? We just go to what's best for them. And we do that all the time. Superintendents, they do it, for the kids.
For the to the friend making time part. This might just be me. Like but I feel like
Narcissistic me or the friendly me?
there's the same person.
I was about to say both.
Right. So this might just be me, but I have some friends that like, and I've heard like songs and stuff like that, and I really feel like it's true. Like real friendship, you don't like. You can go years without seeing each other, and then you see it's like you never missed a beat.
Yeah.
Like that's real friendship. Like real, like so like
And I
real friendship
understand
doesn't
that,
need to
though.
be like yo. You need to like I understand the notion like that concept, but
But usually when y'all apart that far, and then you're that type of friend, y'all already put that time in.
Almost seems like codependency,
That foundation,
right?
It's like that sounds like codependency. Like,
but that foundation has been put in already. We done talked, we done made time already. We done spent nights and hours, and I know you and you know me. So when I do come back to the table, yeah, I want to.
But you know why?
This
You know why that time came in, because it was that was natural friendship. It wasn't forced friendship. This is years of like people choosing to like kick at each other because they liked each other.
I know what you mean. You talking about, but forced friendship? You talking? That's deep, because now you're trying to make it.
Because like there was a whole
But there's
school.
peer pressure. It's all peer pressure. Our friends came from them social groups that we identified as kids, and who we wanted to conform with, or who we wanted to go against. And that's just that's how I believe it. Like, so the kids.
We
go
never
through the
really
same
had
thing
that
now.
problem. I mean, that's a real thing, but we never had that problem. We was the cool kids, right? But like,
Exactly. So you wanted to be, you know what I mean?
no, I was the cool kid.
And
You
if
know
you
what I mean?
were, but my thing is, there was a whole bunch of kids that thought they were the cool kids, and you know what they did? They hung around with the cool kids, the kids who thought that they were cool. And then there was a bunch of.
I just rock with the dudes who really like who really shared. Like I like these people.
I wanna
like
get to 4 and
I felt
5,
comfortable with them. Right?
So-
like not because they was cool. They was cool because of that. Because I felt comfortable with
I think
them.
you're justifying it now as you get older, but what happened when you were a kid, you probably couldn't even
Life
identify
happens.
it. So, but I definitely believe you have to make time for people, and that's what it is. Whether it's your wife, your kids, your mother, your grandmother, I always believe you are in control of that. If you want to make time for somebody, you can make time for them. All that.
Or if you don't, you don't.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's that investment, though. So if you want to get to know somebody, you
Right.
can invest in get to know them.
But you could genuinely care about someone and then realize there's not enough hours in the day.
I think if a real
Listen,
friend knows you're doing stuff, and you like
Right.
they tell me that's weird. That's like
I get that, but if you're doing
That's
something,
weird,
but
man.
at the end of the day, I
it's
always
like you
believe,
never have time for me. Like it's,
Yeah, that's a void in their
Well,
life
that-
that they
that-
want you
now
to
that's
fill.
trauma.
That's not friendship.
That's trauma.
Right,
No.
That's a void that you want. That's actually you hit it on the nail.
It's friendship. It's just trauma. You get that, so it's trauma. So that person can't get past that trauma. So what they use
Facts.
is
It is
what
a
they
thing.
use is their trauma to try to make you feel guilty, to feel misery like them.
All right,
I
you
get
got
that
2
all
minutes
day.
to get to the
So the last
last one.
one, and it's kind of, I think it's the icing on the cake, is you can feel totally comfortable around each other, and that's the one point I think nobody can get to, is feeling comfortable in their own skin around other people, and that's hard, because remember we was talking about it, was people wear the mask and people who code switch, that happens a lot. So who do you really feel comfortable around? And that's just nuts, because I think about it now, ain't but a handful of people who I would spill it all to, and that's what I'm thinking about feeling comfortable is, someone who are gonna respect 1, 2, 3, and 4, to where I could just kick my feet up and don't gotta worry about you either telling my information, put me out there like that, and you just listening. 1 minute left.
Yeah, I mean, I
Feeling
feel
comfortable. You feel
good.
comfortable around.
My people's they know, like my day ones know, man. It's not a long list, but they know.
Right, so I guess for listeners, you need to, start putting yourself around people who make you feel comfortable. People genuinely love you, accept you for who you are, and they ain't really trying to change you. They really just love you. What we got, like 20 seconds left. Shout out to my wife. Shout outs to a great show. Time and gracias. Shouts out to Will.
Word.
Shout out to Nate. Hope you're here next week. And Troop, to keep it real. And number 6 to that should be yourself. Don't try to be someone else just to maintain a friendship. That's the most important thing. Being yourself.
There was a lot left off of that, but shout out to me and mine, though, and a great show. And shout out to the Positive Impact Show for letting us rock with Truth of Today, Chantel the Boss, Smooth Spinner. Shout out to Mosaic, shout out to the Mock, shout out to the CUC and the whole squad.
Deuces.
Happened in Flint, the